What's really going on with people? Quiet quitters and great resignations? What does it mean, and what can we do as employees and employers in the workforce? Well, here to help us is Amelia Antonetti and Patricia Wooster of Design Genius. And I have to say, we've been having a little conversation off camera about this because the world has changed when it comes to the workforce. And if you aren't changing, you're going to lose out. And that's why you guys have designed a great way for people to get the right people and employees to find the right job. So, Amelia, we've had you here before.
Yep.
And
it's one of my favorite places to be. I'm so excited.
Well, what I love is that you have changed too with your business because you saw the need. And Patricia's here with us with some numbers. But let's first talk about what Design Genius is.
So I came out of retirement. Again, I'm a very seasoned Arizona business, right? And so I sold my company several times. I've had 9 of them. And I was like, listen, we're missing the mark. Every single employer is hiring. Right? The stats and the data is not like we're trying to figure out what the problem is. We know what the problem is. Now it's how are we going to solve it? And the antiquated way of solving business problems from the top down has never worked and is not working now. Yeah. So we have to lean in to be able to say, okay, how do we actually have a people first initiative? Because that's made a lot of we're people first. And I'm like, how are you implementing that? How are you implementing that? Right? Because there's no system. So we got together with our teams. We've got some great techs and some great innovators. We're all entrepreneurs. And we were like, okay, to implement a people-first initiative, you need to have a people operating system. Right? So instead of a top-down approach, a bottom-up. Because the statistics is talking about there's no future-proofing. So somebody comes into a job, but they're like, so like, where's this going to end? Right? And if people, and again, behaviorist is my training, I'm a behaviorist. If people don't feel significant, if they don't feel like they're part of something, that it's meaningful, it doesn't create any stickiness. You can't build a culture or community if I don't know why I'm significant. And so like some of the reports that we're seeing are huge, massive reports.
So Patricia, let's talk about some of those statistics that we see out there and you guys have been seeing. And one is that we're seeing people are as we say, quiet quitting their jobs. And what's the number we've seen that and people being unhappy about it too?
Well, it's crazy because never in history have I seen so much research being done around one single topic and it being so recent. Like all the research is coming out 2021, 2022. It's coming out from Gallup, McKinsey, Harvard. Anyone that does significant research has reports on these numbers. And the average is 79% of employees are disengaged in the workforce. Right? And so that is leading to this quiet quitting being terminology we're seeing all over the place, which leads to low performance. And that is costing companies $7.8 trillion.
Wow. Wow.
It's an epidemic.
Yeah.
Right? So we have an epidemic. We don't have a problem. We're not identifying. We know what the problem is. And one of the big reports is that when we poll people to say, well, why? It's because there's no development. We start a job and we go, good luck to you.
Yeah.
We hope you figure it out. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. And so we have to onboard correctly. And so Designing Genius is the beginning onboarding. You get hired by a company, you immediately go into building your life book about what is important to you, what you should not. It really sets the framework for you as an individual, and then you can integrate into the company, but you can't integrate until you understand step 1.
Right.
So we're going after the onboarding, heavy end-to-end developing for leaders and managers, retention, and then rewarding in what's important to you on your life book.
Yeah, and this is very important because, again, we are having people who are moving into positions that they've never done before. They've never had time to go for school for it or anything like that, and they got to be in those positions. So that's where you come in, and you've set it up to actually help them find out what their employees want, find out what they need to have, and how do you do that?
So for most people that are coming in from the frontline positions into first-time management or middle management, have really not had any people training. So as a behaviorist, what I wanted to do was allow managers and leaders to have access to behavioral tools that immediately address the problem. So now a manager just goes into the Genius Vault and they're like, I'm having conflict on my team. They play the game. The game is the management to be able to showcase what the behavior is that they're trying to address. and then they play the different games and they provide the individual team members' needs. If they're having a problem with, like I'm having time management problem, like this person can't get on time, it teaches them a game. The game is what teaches the individual a better relationship with time. So we put everything that's kind of like 101 about management and leaders, which a lot of people have never had, even though they're in those positions, and we gamified it all. So the Designing Genius and the People Operating System actually is one click, fully automated into the system. So you create a measurable. The biggest problem with human resources is there's no way to measure human resources, so they never get a budget.
Yeah.
This is all measurements, which speaks to the CEO, it speaks to the operations, it speaks to the CFO. So now we can actually lean in to develop each individual employee based on their life goals. And that creates the culture of a community, so we actually come back together again.
I like it. And then Patricia, in there, you guys have it where the statistics to help those understand it, because some people are number people, and that's what's important here. So if you are a business out there looking for this, you're going to see those statistics to help them play the game to get those employees, right?
And a happier community. We all want to be really happy.
Yeah.
Right? So we do great work. We really enjoy, because people go, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Or they're like, oh, I didn't really know my teammates. And now they go home and they play the games with their kids, and they play the games. You know, we're so proud that we're one of the first accredited life skills programs for colleges, because their kids are missing life skills, right? And so we have a good time.
I love it. Amelia, Patricia, thank you. I wish we had more time. It's so interesting because I want to play this game. So how can people find out more about, of course, Design Genius and what you're doing?
Well, the book is coming out, so I'm really excited about the book, so Designing Genius, and that drops here in just a couple of weeks. But you can go to designinggenius.com and you'll get all of the information. And we're very, very committed to Arizona businesses. So we're here meeting and greeting and jumping to team meetings and showing people how quick the games work.
There you go. And you got to get a hold of both of them. They'll come out and talk to you, because, again, Amelia knows about building businesses. She built one right here in our own backyard, and now she's a global person helping other businesses. So I love it. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.